is everyone feeling today? It's Wednesday. We are in June already. Wow, it just feels amazing. The weather's amazing. It's about 100 degrees here in San Jose in downtown. And I'm very excited about today's show because we are it's gonna be a fun show today. So really quick, I want to thank everyone that's joining me tonight. It's Mauricio Mejia Live, episode number 8. I want to say and wish everyone that's out there to be safe, protest in peace, and we got to definitely push, and we got to definitely stand for the cause. We want justice, and we want things to get better in this world, and during these economic just the way the world is right now. And with that, though, every week I want to be able to continue to bring positivity, to bring business people, to bring people from the industry, especially people that have been in the nightlife industry. And tonight I got a special guest. Not only is he a friend of mine, he's a mentor of mine. He is truly like my big brother. And we have a special cameo appearance that's going to happen in a few too. Another good industry person that's going to join us. But before that, I want to just remind everybody, show goes down every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube, and we go live. This is a live show, so whatever happens. We try to keep it as positive and clean because we know that once it goes on the internet, there is no coming back. Really quick, I want to just give a little quick shout out to all my past guests. We had Zaira Ramos, our Latina CEO from San Jose. We had Milton Olave, my boy from Miami, Florida. He's a former executive peak performance coach with Tony Robbins. We had my boy Shervin Ruparvar, who is a serial entrepreneur and star of Shaws of Sunset, and another good friend of mine, an entrepreneur, Ruben Resendez, a serial entrepreneur that started with $300 in his pocket and turned it into a $30 million company, plus $30 million plus. And last week, one of my good friends and just someone that really planted a lot of seeds back in the day in my career in the nightlife and production and all that, my boy St. John, on-air personality on 99.7, now in San Francisco, and production and voice guru. So with that said, moving forward, this week's special guest, again, a good friend of mine. I've known him for 20 plus years. I started in the nightclub industry here. I really got my big break here in the Silicon in the Bay Area, really. Sound Factory, City Nights, San Francisco, and I got it here in San Jose. And we got a chance to work together. Former talent of KMEL, music producer, program director today on Q102 San Francisco. Former nightclub owner and operator, so that's how we got to keep it in within our industry. And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna have a special cameo appearance by a good friend. I don't want to give that one up because I want to be like a fucking boom, surprise to everybody, and it's gonna be a big surprise. So, with all that said, let me bring my guest, my boy Billy Vidal. What's up, brother?
What's going on? Did you say this is episode 8?
Yes, episode 8. Yes.
Yeah, so it took 8 episodes before you invited me? Is that how it works?
Well, 8 is my lucky number, so I wanted it to be special. So
I'm giving you a hard time.
No. No, it's special to me. So yeah, man, it's you're here. We're broadcasting live. It's kind of cool. This is my radio show. This is my version of it.
You're in charge. You're in charge.
So if you're looking for talent, just let me know. I'm available for radio station. Okay. Voice. I've gotten a lot of good compliments. So I just want to let you know.
Your mom's very nice.
And my mom, she's actually she'll be listening. She'll be jumping on. So I got to give her a shout out. If not, what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get a call. Hey, you didn't say what's up to me, and so Mom, I love you. You're out there. Be safe. So she's watching now. So anyhow, Billy, it's man, we've known each other. I moved to the Bay Area in 1996, 97, I think 98. We started working together.
Yeah. But the meeting, you should tell everyone how you met me. That's right. The funny story. That's the story of all stories.
Well, I forgot that part. So we're gonna I want to hear your version of how I met you, so that way I can rebuttal. So that I don't set my.
There's no rebuttal.
Yeah, I don't want to set myself up for failure here. But actually, no, you're right. I'm gonna give the 50,000 foot version of how we met. We have a mutual friend. He's like our brother, David Garcia. He's the one that introduced us the first time we met around. I think the first time it was you were trying to get rid. This is we're gonna really go deep here. And by the way, Billy,
the first time, we need to talk about the first time.
The first time. All right.
When you stuck a flyer inside.
Okay.
That's the first time. That's
all right. Yes. You know what? Thank you very much. You're right. We're gonna talk about that one. So all right, good. No, that's a good start. So I've told everyone I've been here in the Bay Area now since I moved up here in 1994. I came in with that whole LA edge. I came in with that that rebel without a cause attitude. Just in your face. I'm gonna dominate. I'm gonna take over the world. And I remember that the first 6 months of me living in the Bay Area, I was living in San Francisco with my cousins, and I didn't know nothing about the scene. I just kind of from what I've heard, and I was a kid still. I was 16, 17 years old when I moved up to the Bay, and I remember that my first nightclub was City Nights, and for those who might not know, City Nights is in San Francisco.
Everyone knows City Nights.
Well, just in case those that don't know, the City Nights in San Francisco.
Right.
It was my first introduction to Ray Bobbitt. Ray Bobbitt is he still at City Nights, general manager?
He is the president of what is it called now? SF Club.
Okay, so Ray Bobbitt is the first person that I get to meet at City Nights. And we kicked it off, man. They were still printing black and white flyers, and I came in real cocky. I was like, man, you guys are still printing black and white flyers. This is what we did in LA, color flyers and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. I got him sold on the hype, and I was able to convince him to let me do my own promotion. So I replicated a promotion that was being done in LA called Sweet Sundays. So I still have the flyers to this day. I still have the flyer. I remember producing the flyer, and I came in. I was so excited. It was my first promotion in San Francisco, and I remember you were DJing. You were the resident DJ. Was it a Saturday night or was
Saturday
it
night?
Saturday night. Saturday night. Place is sold out, packed, and
midnight.
So I remember I came with a box of flyers because I'm gonna pass them out. I'm gonna recycle the crowd. I'm gonna get them hooked on this new Sunday night promotion, Sweet Sunday, straight from LA with LA DJs, and just kind of that again. I was you know what? It's all good though. I mean,
it's great.
I have to look back and
you have to have confidence. You have to have
absolutely. You have to have confidence. I came in just so I remember I came to the DJ booth. You were DJing, and I looked at you and I tried to grab your attention. You just you kept ignoring me. So I was kind of
let me explain. So the DJ booth at City Nights used to be right there on the top of the staircase. So we had a sliding glass window that you could open, and people would give you requests or whatever, and so I had it open, and so I could hear the crowd and see how they're reacting to the music, and see the girls dancing in the cages and all the other nonsense, and then you pop up into the window.
Yes. So I pop up into the window, and I have a flyer in my hand, and I put it in your face, and I'm like, hey, can you get on the mic and promote my party? I was gentle at first, or maybe you didn't hear me. I was like, hey, my flyer here, I was trying to tell you that the manager told me to tell you to promote my flyer. Obviously, I didn't know who you were, man. I was like, yeah, whatever. I was like, that's the DJ in the DJ booth. He's going to do what the manager says. So you look at me and you just you ignored me. And I give you the flyer, and you grabbed it, you looked at it, and you just threw it on the counter like nothing. So I waited. I turned around and I'm waiting and I'm listening. I'm like,
he's gonna say it now.
He's gonna say it right now. And I'm looking at you, and I'm like, and I'll keep pointing at it, and you're like, yeah, and I'm like, oh, so I get pissed. So I go downstairs.
No, you didn't finish where I shut the window on you.
Oh. Well, I think that's that. Then you're right. Yeah. So you shut the window. So I felt like
click.
You're like, and I'm looking at you, and you're just looking. You just look down back to the music, and I'm like, really? Is this how it's gonna go down?
I'm gonna check this guy.
So I'm gonna show him who I am. He doesn't know who I am. So I go downstairs and I go to Ray Bobbitt and I say, "Hey Ray, what's going on with the DJ upstairs?" I try to give him the flyer. I was nice to him. I was trying to get him to promote it, on the mic. It's perfect time, the crowd is here. And he's like, and he looked at me and he kind of gave me that look like, oh man, like I have to go up there and go talk to the DJ. And I said, man, seriously, we got to promote this. So I'm giving him pressure. I'm like, obviously he's trying to be a team player. So he takes me, he walks up to the DJ booth with me and we're going through the crowd. I mean, the place is jam packed. There's probably 2,000 people in the damn club on Saturday night. It's jam packed. And talking about jam packed, that we're going to be talking to our kids, our grandkids, about how there used to be nightclubs that used to be packed, because I don't see this coming back ever again like it used to be. So I'm coming back and I'm like cool, like walking right behind the manager. And I'm thinking like, yeah, he's going to tell him what's up. And I remember that we went into the actual back door of the DJ booth, and I'm like, yeah, like it's going to go down right now, right? And it was hot in there, man. I remember that all the amps were in there. We go into this dark room. You're in there. And I remember Ray says something to you, gives you the flyer in the hand. You grab the flyer and you're just kind of like, just blow it off again. You're like not being like a team player. You're not being enthusiastic about the fact that this is the dopest party that you need to promote it. And I remember, and I'm like, man, this is not cool. I don't like whatever. I don't like being blown up. So and then he turns around, and he says he's going to promote it. I'm like, okay, cool. I said, can I wait right here in the DJ booth? Because now I'm in the DJ booth, right? I'm trying to bust a power play on you. And he's like, no, just wait. I'm like, no, I'll wait in here. I'm going to wait. So I'm waiting. He leaves, and he's all right. Just meet me back in the front. So I'm waiting, and I'm looking at you, and I'm like, all right, dude. And then there's the lighting guy right next to me, and he kind of looks at me like I'm in his way, and I'm like, dude, you're just the lighting guy. So you continue to do the lights, and I'm right here because I'm the new promoter. I need to make sure that this guy plugs my party. Next thing I know, you're not plugging my party. I'm like, this is not happening. I'm like, so I think I might have tapped you on the shoulder, like, yo, dude, like, what's up? Are you gonna promote my party? So I think at that point, just to get rid of me, you're like, okay. So you grab the flyer and you say, I mean, no enthusiasm, no energy.
No, you totally forgot what happened.
No, I'm just giving you my version.
Okay, good. Tell your version.
All right, give me your version. Okay, jump in right now. Jump in.
So this is the truth. So Ray came up to me and goes, hey, man, we got a new promoter on Sunday. Come on, man, just do me a favor and, just plug his party. It's on Sunday. And I looked at the flyer, and then I grabbed the microphone, and I handed the microphone to Ray. So you say it. That's what happened.
So did Ray plug my party?
Ray was the one. He's like, make sure you come out to Sweet Sunday. God. That's how come it was like. That's how come it sounded funny.
So it was him that plugged it in.
He plugged it, not me.
Wow, what a disaster. Well, all I know is that I was trying to get the push 2 weeks prior to the event.
I was just being a jerk per usual.
Yeah, no, and some of it rubbed off on me. The other day we were commenting. I'm like, well, I learned this from you, jerk. So, I got some of those traits at a young age. But
But back in the day, DJs didn't talk on the mic. They talked at the end of the night when it was like last call or last song. DJs back in the day never really talked on the microphone. Remember? They weren't.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Drink special, maybe. I mean.
Maybe even if that, I mean, that definitely was strange in San Francisco for me. I knew in San Jose they did it, and I remember going to the clubs in San Jose and Paradise Beach or Vertigos and all these the Oasis and the clubs down here. Man, the guys would just get on the mic, and it would almost be too much at that time.
Yes, we just like never talked on the microphone. We just let the music do the talking, basically, back in the day. So that's why I was like, I'm not going to make any announcements while I'm DJing.
So I remember that I'm like, all right, I'm trying to build up this event. I'm trying to build up the hype. And 2 weeks prior to the grand opening, I remember that I had a team out there, man. I was beating up 10,000. There was no social media back then, so we were doing it on the streets. I mean, seriously, we were passing out 10,000 flyers for an event, and that's how we gauged it as being a potential successful event. So I remember that it just when that week came, I had the butterflies in my stomach. I remember the night before, the Friday night, I went to promote at the X. And then I went to and I promoted. They had a sold out night, and then I promoted it on Saturday. So I'm thinking like, oh man, we're gonna have 3 nights back to back. We're bringing this LA vibe, this whole like it's Sweet Sunday. Everyone's coming. This is gonna. I started spending the money before it even came in through the doors.
Yeah.
So I started making all these promises. I mean, just all kinds of just craziness.
Bought your car the whole night.
Oh yeah, no. I'm this new kid, rebel without a cause, and I remember grand opening, man. I was like, no, they're gonna come. It's 10:30. It's still early. And then 10:45, I'm like, no, they're coming. And then about 11, I'm like, ooh, okay, no, they're gonna come. They're all gonna come at one time.
Coming in one car.
Yeah, well, they're all coming. They're coming, and then 11:15 came. Now I started breaking it in every 15 minutes, and then 11:20, 11:25, 11:30, and I'm like, and it was like ghost. Like not even a car on the street was coming, and the club was like fully loaded. The bars were stacked. I had both rooms going. I was just like, The
DJs are on the clock.
Yeah, the DJs are on the clock, and I had, luckily for me, I had cut a good deal where I wasn't responsible for that part, but I looked like the jackass. And then come midnight, I remember I kind of went and I went into the dark parts of the club to kind of just go hide myself, and had a couple of drinks really quick to calm the nerves. Yeah, I was in the fetal position, and I remember that Ray calls me up to the office, or security says, "Hey, find Mauricio." They find me. And they had me go up to the office, and I remember I sit up there, and Ray Bobbitt looks at me, and he says, "So, how do you feel about this event?" And I'm like, "Well, I have a very good feeling about it. I think it's going to be a great event. It's just, something happened." And then I think I also remember, I think I blamed you for it. We didn't get any, I didn't get really the support that I thought I was going to get from the Friday or Saturday night, blah blah blah. And he says, "Well, I think just so that we can cut costs, we're gonna close it up at midnight. Are you okay with that?" I'm like, do you think we can go to like 12:15, just to kind of see? and he was and he gave me the courtesy of 12:15, but 12 o'clock came, and I think that I started to see everyone shutting down. They shut down the front room. I mean, it was a complete.
Do you guys sell razor blades here? So I just
I think I'm gonna walk across the bridge and just jump. Oh man, it was crazy. But
you and I have been there too on some of our own promotions where you think like, man, I've dotted all the I's, I've crossed every T. This party is going to be a slam dunk, and then you're like, wow, what happened? Where did I mess up? What did I miss? And you could always trace it back to like 1 or 2 things that slipped through the cracks for a promotion not to be successful.
And I think that those were the learning. Those were the learning experience. I always tell people when they come and they say, "Mauricio, I want to do what you do, and I want to be a nightclub owner. I want to be a bar owner." I'm like, "No, you don't." And they're like, "Yes, I do." I'm like, "Okay, I'll trade you for. You can do what I do, and don't call me for any help. Just learn it." And I already know that in a week you'll be calling me and telling me, "No, thank you. I'm not interested." Blah blah blah. And
you have to get thick skin. That's for sure.
No. And that's what happened. So that was our first interaction. And then after that, we then met. We re-met through David Garcia.
Right.
And that was when I was like, he's like, Billy Vidal. I'm like, no, fuck him. I'm like, no, I'm not going to talk to him. I'm like, I'm like, he was not a cool dude. And I'm like, no, bro, I'm his roommate. I'm like, what? You're his roommate with him? I'm like, oh. So then I remember when I first met you, you were living, I think, in Richmond, and not at where you're living right now, at another place.
Oh yeah.
And Cornell was there. Cornell was there, and I remember when you came out, long hair. Your hair was just crazy. You had a crazy hair, long hair bob.
It's like a bob or something, right?
Yeah, like a bob, right? You reminded me of the Crow. So
hold on, look at this. So I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Oh yeah. It's good. Put it up a little bit more. Yep. There you go.
That's me and Mr. Mix from Two Live Crew.
Oh my God! Wow, that's old school,
we used to put music out. Me and Mr. Mix.
So we're gonna talk about that, man, and that's really what enough of the introduction here, because I really don't want to. Let's just move on. Yeah. By the way, nice V-neck, bro. I like you. You got the memo on the. You got the memo on the uniform. The nightclub.
I explained this. This is the nightclub uniform.
That's right.
If you're a DJ, if you're the promoter, if you're the owner.
That's right. Black V-neck, black jeans, and black boots. That's the uniform, and you make sure you have enough pairs of them so that you don't have to rewear them again. So.
Ever. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
But what I've done with my show and the direction that I've gone is I brought up people that are business people, entrepreneurs, different varieties, and also I want to tap into what I'm passionate about, which is the entertainment industry, and really that's where I want this to go, and I want people to know about your successes and the things that you've been involved. You've been a music producer, you've been an on-air personality in the past, and now again you've circled back, and now you're in that scene, but you're on a different level now where you're the program director.
Right.
Possibly, I don't want to misquote, but in my mind, it's the #1 station in San Francisco. There you go.
That's why we love you.
That's right. It's old school. I like the beginning. You went through some format changes, and now seems like you've got it dialed in. Also,
it's always a work in progress.
That's right.
Fine tune whatever you're doing. You're always trying to fine tune it.
Hey, every week the show's getting better for me. So I at least that's what your show and my show too. I just want to at least that's what my mother tells me. Oh, Chele, your show's doing well. Blah blah blah. I love my mom. She's my #1 fan. But we also you were also a nightclub owner and operator, and I include the operator because being an owner is one thing, but being an operator, that's a whole different world. And if you can be the owner and operator, then we're definitely kind of like the last of the Mohicans, and we come from a very different breed, because there's not too many people that can be owner and operator. There's owners, and then they bring in operators to do their stuff, or a management team. So we both have that experience. I started at 15, started in the streets of LA promoting nightclubs, and then when I graduated, moved to the Bay Area. I started here, and then really. My big break was with you. I mean, we were doing, David Garcia and I were doing our parties. We were doing the Groovy Sundays. I don't know why Sundays was just like the thing. Groovy Sundays. We were doing Havana nights on Thursday nights.
Because no club owner wants to give up their Friday or Saturday night. So you're trying to piggyback off of one of those open nights and try to create something. That's why.
So we get our big break. I remember David again. He was there lobbying for me and being an advocate. You and Greg Lopez were working on a. Greg had invited you to be a part of a project in San Jose. He was the resident DJ of a club in San Jose. It was called Hollywood Junctions, and
most people knew it as Studio 47.
Studio 47, that's right. Studio 47, the historic and old school Studio 47. So, which is, it's funny. I talked to Harry Evans today, and I told him to watch the show tonight because I actually want to do an interview with him as to kind of go back and talk about his past. But
he's a godfather, that's for sure.
Yeah, he is the godfather, and he was a father figure to me and a mentor and a great person that was in my life. Taught me a lot of the things that I know today, good and bad. So I have to give him credit for both. So and he's gonna give me for this one, but we got our big break. We started the Funhouse in San Jose, and
Funhouse was a monster.
We start on a Thursday night. We started that, and I remember I showed you the picture of the picture of me and you outside of the table. I mean, it was just crazy, old school how we were just doing things, and we took that to a whole different level. And
what we did and a lot of people might not agree with this, but we were like one of the first promoters to actually charge a cover. Remember?
That's right.
We had a higher cover than.
That's right. They were charging $5, $5 and $7, $7, and I'm like, why do we have to make change?
Yeah.
And I remember when you put when we and I said no, we're going to charge $10, and Mozzie, the general manager, Harry and Mozzie went through the roof they're like, we can't charge $10. Like, it has to be. We're like, no, we're gonna charge $10. And I remember the first night we did 2 Thursdays, and by the second Thursday, their Fridays was dead. They moved us, and then our first Friday night, I'll never forget, it was a Halloween night, and that's when we really took it to the next level, and boom, it just blew up, man. It blew up for us, and then but you know what though, Billy, I'm gonna put this back on you. Is
okay.
You know, a lot of what we were doing is I was following your lead, and you know, because I was at that point, whatever had happened, and you and I just kind of it just the magic came together. You gave me the lead and what I needed to do, and I delivered. Not just by me, we all delivered, and then it took off. But you planted seeds, so. You know, kind of share, you know, you had been in the scene for many years, you know, doing the music and production, and also your leadership skills is kind of what really.
Yeah, that's the thing with like any business or anything that you're doing in life. Yeah, it's great to feel like, oh, hey man, that's the guy, he's the one. But without a strong team, you know, you can't be the only player on a successful team. You've got to have other people who have strengths that you don't necessarily have. You identify them, you give them, you know, the role, you give them the support that they need. So I came out of, at the time, I was the vice president of Mirror Corporation. Mm-hmm. And at that time it owned, you know, City Nights and Sound Factory before they bought Envy, Club Envy. So I had already started getting a lot of the experience of, you know, managing people.
Right.
And the experience and that ramp up to learn operations is crazy, because at Sound Factory we're doing it actually started at City Nights, so we're there from 9 o'clock until 2 o'clock in the morning. We buy Sound Factory. Now all of a sudden we've got 2 venues. We have to run. We're running back and forth from City Nights to Sound Factory. And we're running that club from 9:30 to 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I remember I was your assistant promotion director at the time. That was when you. So we had San Jose, but then, and I know we're compressing because God, we could talk for 5 hours here.
Yeah, it was great.
But you, when San Jose was happening, you were doing both running parallels, and I remember because Britt Hahn at the time, he got a little bothered because he felt that we were probably taking away from City Nights, which I think it was a whole different vibe. What I did see is that San Jose started coming to San Francisco a lot more, so you started to see those City Night numbers blow up, the Friday night numbers blow up, and that's when you started running that stuff. And again, you showed me you paved the way, and I just followed what you were paving, and I got to see.
Like I said, it was definitely, you know, that's where, you know, Harry Evans was a great mentor for you. Britt Hahn was a great mentor for me. We were best friends, and we came up with a lot of promotional ideas that they still use to this day. And, you know, we figured out ways to activate, you know, our crowds, the music that they wanted, the DJs that they wanted to hear, and then imaging. We had to get the right imaging on our flyers. So a lot of this stuff, kids are coming in.
Good. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is why we go live. Really quick, while Billy's taking care of the boys, we have in the backstage, we have our special guest.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
They let the dog in. They let the dog in and everything. It's got to be on in here.
Live and direct, you know, I like it. So really quick, I was about to just talk about who our special guest in the back, and I don't want to give his name because I want it to be a surprise. Because I really want to jump in and make things happen. But who came in right now? The baby, the youngest one?
It's both of them with the dog. They had Bubba, they had Jackson and William. They're both coming in to represent for sure.
Oh my God, I love it.
So let me quickly just say that, yeah, man, you know, all of us would love to take credit, like, oh man, I was the guy, but it really was like you had this drive, and I knew that I could pass off anything that I needed to get done. I could pass it off to you. David was definitely, he had his ear in the streets, house music, and especially that LA sound, that kind of four on the floor banger that started like happening in San Jose. And he was connected with Bad Boy Bill and Richard Humpty Vision and those guys. So, you know, then we also had, it was like we had that whole promotion crew that you put together, a street team.
Yeah.
So we had a street team of 20 people probably.
Oh man, easy man. We used to mob. It was crazy. It was a crazy. It was a promoter thing.
Yeah, I could never take credit for all of that. It's just like all of us. We remember we'd go and sit at Denny's or whatever. We'd start just brainstorming and formulating these things and so it was a real collaborative thing back then. And I was learning a lot because I had to put so many hours in at my main job. Yeah. But that's where I could translate it to, what I felt like, Funhouse, it's only 1,400 people, where I'm dealing with, upwards of 10,000 people in all of our venues in the city,
Right. And that was definitely, I was catching once obviously, everything has its peaks and valleys. And I remember that I had the opportunity to do both for a while when I was working with you in San Francisco and running City Nights. And that was probably the best experience that I had. I got to meet a lot of great people. We got to, we just got to work with a lot of great artists. We got exposed to a lot of great things. And I remember too DV8 when it was happening. Yeah. And I remember one of the other places that really set something for me, and I think this is also where we crossed paths, was the Jerry Rivera concert at the Galleria.
That's actually where I think I was going through a real bad breakup at that time.
Yeah,
I was. I had just broken up, or I didn't break up. My girlfriend broke up with me. My heart was broken, and you go, man, let's go to the Jerry Rivera concert. I was like, what? No, I'm not going to any salsa concert. So no, you got to go. There's beautiful girls. I'm like, all right. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Changed my life.
Jerry Rivera was there. And then at the same time, one of my most favorite once a month parties was hosted. And even prior to that, there used to be, it was a Big Heart City in San Francisco. They used to do the salsa parties. And that's when I got introduced to who our special guest is going to be on. Hold on. Let me get him in here. Our boy. Live and direct from San Francisco, Adrian Vidal. So,
oh my goodness!
Hey, great to see both of you. Great to see both of you guys. Are actually two of my oldest friends in the Bay Area. 20 plus years, which is crazy.
Well, I started when I was 13, so yeah, that makes sense.
And now you're only 38. Well, Billy, you do look younger than me and Mauricio, so you're doing something right.
Well, you can speak for yourself, bro. I'm looking good, man. Look at this. Look at the shine. I mean, come on, man. Billy's looking a little pale over there. But hey, dude, honestly, to have us three here is it's got to be one of the best experiences that I'm going. Best experiences right now because one, we're all friends. Adrian, we were just leading into what you were doing at the time before we all came together. You were running some big parties, man. You were doing Tu Pueblo. You were doing all the big Latin shows.
Soli Luna, all that other stuff.
Soli Luna. Yeah, man. You were doing some big stuff. And when we all came together and somehow, I think, Billy, again, man, this is this is kind of your instinct, your intuitions of putting a team together. And you know what? I'm going to give you credit. I've always believed in the same thing, too, that we're only as good as our team. And I love to build teams. When you had me running the 18 and over, you brought in Adrian at the time, was doing he had the Mi Pueblo or the Tu Pueblo. He had the conga. Was it conga room? Was before?
Well, actually, if you want me, just jumping in there really quick.
Just really quick though, because then we're gonna have to get you back off and backstage, Adrian. Just want to let you know.
So I'll be really quick. No, but just really quick with Billy is that I was actually doing Tu Pueblo, which was a regular club on Saturday nights at this small little club called 330 Rich Street with live bands. At the same time, Dave Dean, who originally started the Sound Factory nightclub, towards the end of his days, he said, hey, you want to do salsa music in half of the club? And Billy came and did a walkthrough with Britt Hahn, who ended up buying the Sound Factory, Billy told Britt, why don't we keep this? Because this will make sense for what we're trying to do here. So Billy's actually, then again, like you said, Billy's the one who brought me and gave me the opportunity to be part of what became the largest, actually Latin-based nightclub
absolutely
the city has ever seen, period.
Yep.
I mean, talking about 2,300 people every single Saturday night. There's been no other club that's size since Sound Factory on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
So Billy's actually the one that told Britt, hey, and then I went and met with Billy, had my little hair. I looked like I was 12, a little suitcase and a little jacket and a little suit on.
A little briefcase. Like, who carries a briefcase?
A little briefcase. They're like, who is this guy? You know, it's like, I walked in there and they're like, hey, let's keep what you're doing because we're going to start this club with back then, which was the strongest radio station for that market, which was 194.9 and the Doghouse. And I remember Billy and Britt calling me the morning before the Sound Factory opened with a new format and saying, how do you think tonight's going to be? We're nervous. You know, we have all this money invested in radio. And basically from that night on, it was packed.
No, Sound Factory, I remember.
It was packed every
I was there for a grand opening with all of us. I even remember what Billy was wearing. It was funny. I don't know why it's vividly in my mind. Billy, you were wearing a black V-neck
leather jacket, right?
Yeah, black V-neck, black leather jacket, and black velvet pants.
Something's never changed.
Yeah, no, Billy was wearing black velvet pants.
Velvet pants.
Yeah, black velvet or like
velvet.
Or it might have been leather, bro, but they were black.
They were black diesel leather pants. Hello.
Yeah, there you go. With black boots, again looking like the crow at the front door.
That's what they say.
And I remember going in there, and the line was literally from the front of the door. It was like 4 to 5 people deep, and it went all the way down across the street, all the way down to like the 2 blocks down and around. That I remember Britt and that they had to bring reinforcements from City Nights because they needed a crowd control because they was now getting into the main entrance to the Bay Bridge. So I remember that, and I remember all those Latinos, and then not only that, but just the crowd, just the massive crowd that came in. It was from that point on that club. Billy, how many years did that thing go for? 10? Was it 5-10 years?
I don't know, man.
Good question.
I remember that 1999. Remember the whole Y2K thing?
Yeah,
I think that sort of was
right.
The downward spin, and every club only has a certain amount of years as a life cycle anyways. But I remember that Y2K was sort of the beginning of the end because New Year's Eve was a disaster for everybody in the Bay Area. It was a disaster.
Yeah, worldwide, man. It was. They thought the end of the world was coming.
I was standing outside with Billy. We're outside the building with Billy, and we looked down Harrison Street in both directions, and there was not a single car in the street. And every corner had a police officer. Remember that? Every corner had like a police car, and we were like, "Wow, this is." And we were. I think we're.
Y2K. What was the end game?
They thought. I think they thought the computer system was gonna crash, and that all of the clocks were not gonna work. So every computer was gonna. It was just like this whole conspiracy.
Why would you stop?
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
But why would that stop you from going out? That makes no sense to me.
I remember I did for the New Year's party, for the Y2K New Year's party. I remember that I did the biggest prank in the club. I went in the back of the. Remember when we were pretty sold. I don't want to say sold out. We probably had about 900 people in the party. And I remember I ran to the back to the power amp room, and as soon as we did the countdown, I shut down all the power. And you can hear the room like ooh, like oh, like you can hear the commotion, and then I turn the power back on.
A few seconds.
Yeah, that sounds very responsible. That sounds
good. I know, Johnny. I'm not thinking. But here's the kicker. So back then we had techno beams, and the techno beams are arc lamps. So when you turn them off, if they turn off like that so crazy, you run the risk of blowing up the light bulbs. Or when you want to turn them back on, they won't arc back until they cool down. So I remember I turned them back on, and I had no club lights going on because they had to cool down. So I had to wait like 15 minutes in order before that. Meanwhile, I'm losing half the crowd because people are like scared. You know,
it's over. The club's closed.
Yeah, they're wondering what the hell happened. But again, just crazy times, man. And I just remember that just again, all of us together, man. And I remember the Conga Room was the hottest spot. You had Dennis Gallegos in there as your resident DJ. I know you had other DJs that were
Tony
became a resident DJ. So Yeah, and then in the VIP room, David Garcia, Billy, you'd play up in the VIP room, and then we had Greg Lopez in the main room. So crazy stuff, man. Good times, and
we had Prince. Prince was there. How many times did Prince come to the Sound Factory? 3 or 4 times, maybe, or
twice at the Sound Factory. And then I had him at my old club at Loft 11 before, and
Loft 11. That's right.
Yeah, and then but after that Prince experience at the Sound Factory, when he just basically stole all that money.
Didn't he? Wasn't the deal that he kept the entire door was like it was kind of like a really interesting arrangement.
I remember I got that phone call. Hey, from a guy named Trevor. I think it was like Trevor Allen or something. He was Prince's guy, and he says, "Hey, would you like to have the official Prince after party with Prince?" And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" Before I even talked to Britt, I'm like, yeah, it's done. We're gonna do it. And then I went and ran to Britt. Hey, Britt, we got Prince official. So, yeah, I told that story before, man. But yeah, we had Prince. We had his whole. They faxed me his backline. If you guys don't know what a fax machine is, it's a machine where you could send an image to somebody else. So they faxed over an image of Prince's backline, what he would need on stage to perform. So I called. Was it SIR? Was that the people that used to do
SRI?
sound?
Yeah, they did sound.
SIR, yeah.
Yeah. So we have Prince's official backline on the stage. I remember Prince shows up, walk him to the club. He wants to go to the conga room first, so he's on the mezzanine area. So we're walking down there, and Prince, he's got his like little pimp cane, and he's like hangs off of the balcony in the the conga room. He starts twirling his pimp cane. The place went ape shit. I just remember like everyone was like, Prince. So,
but didn't he not perform? He didn't perform.
Listen, man, this is the craziest thing. So he has me walk him into the VIP room, the Sky Lounge, and he sees. Remember, it's all glass windows, so you can see down to the stage. You can see all the people dancing. He's like,
it's packed.
He goes, "What's that?" I go, well, "That's the main room." So we walk into the second VIP room in the Sky Lounge that led down to the stage. I'm like, oh shit, here he goes. Prince is about to go on stage. He goes, opens the door, and him and the security guards, and the place goes, wow! Like it felt like, a tidal wave. Like I said, oh my god, they just blew the roof off this place. He turns around, he looks at me, he goes, I'm not feeling the vibe. I was like,
oh.
And I'm
God bless Prince right now. We love you, Prince. We love you.
Just like that, he goes, I'm not feeling the vibe.
Yes. Yes.
I look at his head of security. I go, hey, man, what does that mean? He's like,
what's going on here?
If the man's not feeling the vibe, he's not going to perform. I'm like, I said, they're going to riot. You got to do something. They're going to riot in here. And they were charging $35 at the door. Wow. His people were taking the money. They probably had 2,000 or 2,500 people for this Prince after party on top of what we already have anyways. Remember? Yeah. So then Prince, he hangs out for a little while, sits on the floor in the VIP, and then he heads out. I go, this dude's not going to say anything to anybody. Not going to hi, thanks for coming out, bye. He just walks out with all that money, goes on the bus, and he starts paying people out with that money, like his dancers.
Wow.
Then I'm looking like, what's happening here? What's going on?
Looks like he's leaving. Looks like he's leaving.
I go, and the bus just pulls down Harrison. I go, and people are rushing out. Where's Prince? I go, he left. They go, we want our money back. I go, he took the money. Like, you guys are lying. You're a ripoff. They'll say, hey, that's Prince. It's Prince's party. He did that.
Oh, wow. I remember I remember when he was in town, we actually did an 18 and over, the unofficial. So we had gimmicks, and I created the unofficial Prince party, and I didn't even call it Prince. I did the symbol, and I remember purple, and I did some cool decors, and I did it for the 18 hour. It was cool because a lot of ladies came out, the party was jumping. But right. I remember, and I remember when you shared with me on Monday, normally when all the industry people kind of talk about their weekends, I remember you told me that horror story, and I was just like, man,
that was
that wasn't the first time. I know he's been in San Jose. He did a private after party at a venue in downtown South First Street, and same thing. He had a jam packed when it was in the private VIP room. He was there with Sheila E. He was there with Pete Escovedo, and
Came out, right?
Never came out, and maybe just some acoustic, but I don't even think he performed. I don't even want to say that. So, but yeah. Anyways, man, nightlife industry, we get to see some very fun things. We get to see some very different things of what we have to deal with artists. I remember getting writers where. Adrian, you and I were talking about it, where they ask you for M&Ms and they only want certain color of M&Ms, and you're like, really? Here's the bag of M&Ms. Take it or don't eat it or whatever. I want 3 white towels this size, like they give you the dimensions, and then some bottles of Cristal and this and that. I'm like, no, we're not going to give you a $1,500 bottle of Cristal just because whatever. So. Adrian, tell us. Share some of the stories with us on what you've seen, especially you've dealt with like Oscar de Leon, Jerry Rivera.
Well, I don't think he wants Cristal. He wants something different.
Yeah.
He wants something. Yes. Well, Billy, another Sound Factory story.
What does he want, Billy? I want to know. Adrian, you want to share with us?
We had Dennis Rodman and Carmen Electra.
Yeah.
And Dennis Rodman, remember? And they started getting freaky on the main dance floor, like getting really freaky in front of everybody.
She pulled his pants all the way off. He was naked. And I was like, did Dennis
on the main dance floor of the Sound Factory?
I was like, does Dennis have like rope tied around his waist? What is that hang? I go, oh my God, he's naked.
Man.
I was like, what is that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, crazy times, man. Seriously crazy times. But, obviously, not one of us. It's interesting when you think about it. We always want to kind of like branch off and do our own thing and see how we can grow as individuals. But you come back to like, what was the best time? When was I the most successful? Yeah. And you can always go, you know what? When I was part of like something bigger than myself. And obviously the best times, my most successful times, is when I had people that I loved working with and was able to create like that synergy and that teamwork. Yes. Where like if I couldn't do something, I know Adrian could do it, or if Adrian could do it, you could do it. It's always great to have that team around you. That it's sort of like that no look pass. I'm able to like put that ball up and someone's able to slam dunk it. And I think that comes with experience, like you working with each other. But you have to identify those people in your life and those people in your organization that's going to make you successful, just like you're going to make them successful. So it's an interesting dynamic.
I think also, especially now with what we're going through, it really makes you appreciate those memories and the times that we had when we were doing these huge events and huge clubs on a weekly basis. Because like Mauricio, like I heard you guys talking about it earlier, those days are gone. We don't know what's going to happen in the nightclub industry. Nobody really knows. We only know what's going to happen in the live concert industry. Even talking to some people that work for Live Nation or some of these companies, on a national level, they don't know what the new rules are going to be because nobody knows how long this is going to last for, if it's going to come back again. Are they going to, so it's a very strange times that we live for people in our business, and I mean the entertainment business. When because there is so many unknowns that it makes you don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months from now.
Yeah. Well,
so talking about these memories that we had, 20 years ago, puts a big smile on my face because. I don't know what's going to happen in 6 months.
Yeah, we'll keep it light because we can go deep, and then next thing you know, we're
crying. We're gonna be all crying in here.
No, I was telling Adrian,
I'm crying inside right now.
I was telling Billy, I said, we're gonna look. Well, I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna stay optimistic here. I think after we go through this election, after things settle down, I think that 2021 we're gonna see some opportunities. I think right now is the best time though for us to really sharpen our skills again, because remember we got to keep our creative juices going. Adrian, I know that you've done some virtual concerts. I know I'm doing virtual concerts right now every Saturday. We're not making any money off of them, but we're at least getting used to the system. Billy, just today you called me with an idea that Adrian and I are going to move on. We're going to move forward and do it together. So I just want to let you know, thank you. No, but
that's the idea. It was great.
Yeah. I usually have really good. This is one thing that I'm going to
great ideas.
I'm going to pat myself on the back.
Yeah,
I usually have pretty good ideas, and I come up with really good names for parties.
Yes, absolutely. There's been some that I've I'm like, well, Billy, I thought, well, we won't go there. So but no, we've started to get real creative because we have to find necessity is the mother of invention. And that's when we have to become our juices have to get creative. We have to use our experiences, our past experiences, because at the end of the day, we're the ones that create that smoke and mirrors for people. We're the ones that create that experience. And I think that
hold on a second. Did you just use the word smoke and mirrors? Was that like a segue into like you have a book out called Smoke and Mirrors?
I read a great book that's named the same.
I like the way you work.
Well, I would use it because it was a hot button, So yeah, but since you're on the subject, really quick, I want to just remind everyone that I have my book.
Hold it up. Oh, you're so unprofessional. Let's go.
Hold on. Smoke and Mirrors, right here. Boom. You can find it in Amazon, and we have it on the Kindle version as well. And then my second book just came out on Monday.
Mirrors and Smoke.
Yeah, what's that?
Is it Mirrors and
Smoke? Oh my God. So Smoke and Mirrors, I was using it in the context of our conversation. But again, if you want a good read, Smoke and Mirrors, the book, it's on Amazon. You can pick it up.
Are we in the book, Mauricio? Billy and myself. Are we in book 1 or book 2?
Billy's in the book. I don't remember.
Oh, really? What is the second one?
Yeah, no, you're look. I told you I had to get your permission. Once you gave me,
you never got my permission. What are you talking about?
Was it written or was it over a text message?
I think we were having some cocktails, and I think we were in the basement at Barbarossa.
It's possible.
So anyway, but yeah, man, we gotta keep ourselves sharp. We gotta keep ourselves ready to go because if that opportunity ever comes again, we're gonna take it, man. I mean, we're all young. We're older, but we're still young in spirit, and we still have it in us. We have the creative juices flowing, and I also think that the younger generation is still looking and yearning for that. I mean, Billy, I was just telling you, and you actually agreed, you confirmed it. Target is selling records with a knockoff version of the Technique turntable, so it's the cycles, it's repeating itself. So we're going to see that cycle coming back, and since we've had that experience, I think that if an opportunity comes ahead, I mean, you're doing it with Q102. The artists that you're playing, and then possibly the concerts that you were lining up. I mean,
our Hot Summer Night sells that every year. It's all throwback and old school artists. So that concert, there's obviously a niche for that type of music. I wanted to kind of go back on what you're saying about right now about sharpening your skills. I think this is a great opportunity for anybody out there that felt like they were in a rut in their job, going to work every day. If you didn't take this opportunity where you were home every day and figure out what you're passionate about and then learn a new skill, if you didn't learn 1 or 2 new skills during this whole COVID-19 thing, then I feel really
wasted your time.
Sorry for you because this was a golden opportunity for you to if you felt like, hey man, I'm in a rut, I'm going to the same job every day, I'm not really happy with what I do, or God, I always wanted to learn how to, be an architect or do. This is the opportunity right now to get those skills that you've always desired. If you want to be a real estate agent, now is the time. You can do online classes. You can knock all of this stuff out. So my thought process was, yeah, man, sharpen your skills with what you do, but sharpen your skills with your passions right now, because this is the only time as an adult, I think, that you're going to be able to do that as an adult. Kids can do it whenever. The kids, when you're young in your 20s, you can do whatever the heck you want to do. But as an adult who's kind of been through all of these things, it's a great opportunity to learn a new skill, to sharpen your skills. And if you didn't do it, by the time this is all done, there's going to be, thousands of people ahead of you that are out there learning a new trade right now.
That's right.
And you can learn it all in the second book, Smoke and Mirrors. Buy it now.
Part two.
But you guys are laughing right now, but I'm already working on the second book, and it's called Smoke and Mirrors Still Standing. So Both of you guys, fuck you. Okay, you guys watch.
I'm still standing.
Yeah, and then when I start working on the movie, I don't want to hear, "Hey, can I be an extra?" I'm like, yeah, Billy, you're gonna be the DJ in the DJ booth, and we're gonna repeat that version of when I first met you, and then Adrian, you're gonna be the promoter doing the 330 Rich, and we're just gonna
flyers on the cars.
We're just gonna do a cameo of you. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Adrian, I'll see you at your next party," and then keep going to my party.
It'll be like this. It'll be like this.
Do we have time? Can I tell a story really quick?
Yeah, man. Hey, so by the way, guys, this is unlimited. We can keep going.
Okay.
We got a great audience.
Okay. So I want to tell my story about the first time I was introduced to Adrian.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So Mauricio and I, we went to the Jerry Rivera concert that Adrian produced and promoted. Mauricio and I go to a what was that? A Denny's at the Holiday Inn in Fisherman's Wharf. It's like the only place you can go get something to eat at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, in my white suit, was it before the concert or after the concert?
After the concert. It's like two
so I'm wearing my Miami Vice white suit probably.
So I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there. I'm having like such a great time. We're talking about all the beautiful ladies that were out there dancing, and the concert was amazing. And I'm thanking Mauricio for taking me to this concert. Man, thank you, man. You're making me feel so much better about myself. I don't care what my ex-girlfriend says about me. So I'm there. And all of a sudden, Adrian walks in, and he's got a girl on this arm and a girl on this arm. Yeah. But he looks like he's like 16 years old. He looks like this little kid walking in. And then Mauricio goes.
And we're both by ourselves. We're like sitting we just probably came from the fun.
It's us on a date. So we're there at a table, and he walks in, and Mauricio goes, "Hey, that's the promoter for tonight's event." I go, "That kid?" I said, no way." He goes, "Yeah, no, it is." So Mauricio gets up and goes over to introduce himself to you or say, "What's up?" And you just blow him off. It was great. It's like, yeah, whatever, thanks. And you walk right by him, and now I'm pissed. I go, "Oh man, that guy's a dick." Because I've already done it with Mauricio, but now you did it, so I go, "Oh, that guy's a dick." And then Adrian gets up with the 2 girls and leaves, and I'm like going, "There's no way that guy is the one who brought all 12,000 people to that event." He goes, "Yeah, that's him." Fast forward 3 months, and I meet Adrian for the conga room to take over the conga room at the Sound Factory. And I go, and Britt was like, "What do you think about this guy?" I go, "Oh, he can bring the people,
the numbers."
He can bring the numbers, man.
So Mauricio then actually introduced us by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because we were all kind of leaving at the same time, and you go. And I think I like put my hand out, like give you like the soft handshake, and turn my head and like,
nice to meet you.
You can't diss my boy, and I like give the soft handshake like that.
Yeah, give me the flipper, like, oh really, dude? All right.
Isn't that the worst? Hey guys, I'll tell you what. If you're a young man and you're watching this right now, if someone extends their hand to shake their hand, you grip it firm and you shake the hand firm. If you give
in the eye,
you never give the dead fish handshake. Never.
Yeah. Look people in the eye.
Look them in the eye and shake their hand. That's rule number 1 in business.
Yep.
Hey, are there some people that we're going
to put you off on the show now, and Billy and I are going to continue the show.
It was great talking to you guys. I'm getting hungry anyway.
A cameo, not a takeover of our show. So the Flyers, Mauricio and Billy Vidal, not Mauricio, Billy Vidal, and Adrian Gadar, bro. So no, anyways, go ahead, Adrian.
Don't forget to buy Mauricio's book, Smoke and Mirrors Dolls, coming out in soon.
Here's the Jeffy events for the next concert in 2021, asshole.
But
anyway, unfortunately, it's true.
It's all. I think that we have to, and I think the nightclub industry is going to have to innovate. And change is hard. It's hard for anybody. Change is really hard, and it's that fear of the unknown. But I'm telling you, someone, it might be us, but someone's going to figure out this nut, and they're going to crack it, and they're going they're going to be successful, because it really is a tough nut to crack. What is entertainment going to look at, in 2021? And I think
you got Vegas is canceled this year. All the big, the $100 million nightclubs are done. That's gone.
Yeah, but I think that what we all crave being social. We crave being around other people. We crave music. Music moves us, moves our soul, moves what we do. How are we going to engage again? And I think that's the conversation. How do we do it safely, while still being the social distance thing, and how much of that is going to rely on, do we really need to be in front of an artist? So I think there's a lot of challenges, and I think that someone is going to figure it out.
I have it right here in my secret book, or my
is that Smoke and Mirrors 3?
I've written
that one.
I've written that in my my little iPhone here, but anyways,
it's all mirrors. Hey guys, I agree. Thanks for having me on the show, buddy. I really appreciate seeing both of you guys. And I want to send some quick shout outs to some people that have been logging on there. Chris,
now you're gonna give shout outs. You're gonna take over my show.
Dennis Gallegos, Tonio, Armando, they're all being saying hi to us while we're doing this.
Cool.
Nice. I love it, man. Thank you. I'm watching the.
Thank you, guys.
That's it. You got 3 friends, bro. You just did 3 shout outs. That was it.
I did 5 out of 6. The other one is me.
Hey, really? Hey, he's not that cool anymore. See, he's not that cool guy walking in with the.
Well, that's the thing is, if you can't let somebody into a club for free or give them a drink, all of a sudden you find out I'm not as popular as I thought I was.
Right.
One of those girls liked me that night. I got him to the concert.
All right, Adrian. Thank you for joining us tonight.
I love you guys. Be safe. Be safe,
too, bro. Be safe out there. Make sure don't go create any riots. And if you're gonna protest in peace, brother, please.
Yeah.
So, and I'll see you mañana. I'll be in the city. So
have a good night. Have a good night.
Good night, that was interesting. Adrian Godard joining us, Jaffe Events. I still consider him one of the top, if not the number 1 Latino promoter here in the Bay Area. He seems to just keep it dialed in, man. All of his concerts and all of his parties, and I can't wait till
he was the first one to bring reggaeton to the Bay Area. Right. A lot of people don't understand who he really is. I mean, what year did reggaeton really pop the first time around? 2004 maybe, or 3.
Daddy Yankee, bro. Actually, no. Let's take it back. El General was. If we really want to go old school, Puntum Mami Mami by El General used to be a great hit, but that was really hardcore Latino reggaeton. When it became crossover of a mashup of hip hop, was really at early 2000s when Daddy Yankee just popped off, and then
he was the first one to bring those artists to the Bay Area. So.
Pitbull was following him. I remember bringing Pitbull to the Bay Area too. That was a fun. I remember paying Pitbull $8,000 for a show, and then it went to $12,000, then it went to $15,000, and then it went to $50,000 a show. We're like, whoa, dude, what happened to? I thought we were doing it for the strength.
We love each other, don't we? Aren't you my boy?
Wow, man. So crazy times, man. Anyways, Adrian, thank you for joining us tonight, and I'm definitely gonna follow up with him, and we're gonna do a follow to this. But Billy, going back to where we've been, man, and the fact that you being a nightclub operator, owner as well. Share some of that experience, man. And let me ask you the big question, because I know I've been asking. You can ask me that after I ask you. But if you had the opportunity to go back into nightlife, would you do it again?
Okay. Right now, no. Obviously, no. Right, because there's no nightlife, but. I think that my most successful time in the nightclub business, and I ended up, owning nightclubs. I started off as a DJ and then became a promoter, and then from a promoter, became an owner. And, I look back and I said the most successful time that I had and the most money, and if I'm basing it on money, my most successful time was when I was just a promoter, because you don't have the responsibility of rent, insurance, your EDD, all of the other things that you don't see as a promoter.
Right.
You don't have those responsibilities as a promoter versus an owner. And the things changed when I finally became an owner. It became a promoter driven industry where it was all based off of who was the cool promoter at that time was how busy your club was going to be. So you ended up splitting your door, which was the mainstay of the business, and because it was a cash business, you're giving away half of your door, sometimes 80% of your door to a promoter. So that's where, if I had it to do over again, I probably would have just stayed promoter. But you always want to own something. You always want to be an owner of, hey, I own a nightclub. So
you always want to be Johnny Big Pants, man. It's Johnny Big Pants, and because we get to feel it as a promoter when we're the shot callers, and then we become Johnny Big Pants, and then now we're controlling the ropes. I never disrespect the velvet ropes, baby. When you control the ropes, you got power. Who gets to come in and out of your club, bro?
Yeah, and then I was never one of those guys to do that too much. I didn't like to flex too much. I always wanted people to have a good time, have a good experience. Just promoters. I just busted other people's chops. But clients, and customers, I always wanted customers to leave the experience like, wow. This was before the big Vegas nightclub. You got to remember, Vegas nightclub experience sucked back in the day. It was like a Studio 54 in Vegas was like the big club, and people would go down to Las Vegas, and it really wasn't like that nightclub experience. And then all of a sudden, they started dumping, $20 million into a nightclub, and there's no way you could get that same experience in San Francisco. So, people are coming back trying to get deals on bottles. Oh man, they just spent $5,000 on bottle service in Las Vegas, but they come back and they see you and they're like, hey, Billy, man, give me a deal. Give me the bottle half price. You're like, I may as well just give you the bottle because it's going to be cheaper for me to say I lost it. I busted it on the ground and write it off versus you give me $120 for a bottle, so, which is really wild to me. People want to get in for free and they want to drink for free when they're here in the Bay, but in Vegas, they were like, oh yeah, here at $10,000, just spend all the money. So
it's Vegas. Vegas does that. I'm guilty of that. Well, not a bottle service. I the blackjack table. I made a couple of investments at the Hard Rock. So I'm a partner over there, just in case you didn't know that. So
I see a Melissa
Benz. Yeah,
underground nightclub private invite. I think that's an interesting idea. It's an interesting concept.
Yes.
But when you are trying to do it to make money. Obviously, like if Mauricio and I were going to do a party, you have to talk about 500 people minimum to really make money. Because if you're charging, let's just say you're charging $20 at the door, you still have to pay for everything. If it's a private club, you still have to pay for if you're renting the place, if you're paying for the liquor, if you're paying for the DJs, and so at the end of that promotion, it's like, was it really worth it if I only had 200 people or 100 person? Because I want to be safe. I don't want to put 500 people on top of each other that could possibly infect each other with whatever's going on at the particular time. So
the cooties, man. It's crazy.
It's difficult. So man, I'd love to be able to do a party and have all of my friends and all of these people show up and have a great time. But then you're like, oh, where and how do I do that where people are still safe? Because you still want to be responsible for the people. If you're bringing them together, you got to feel responsible when they're under your roof. When they leave, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. But when they're under your roof, how do you keep them safe? And I think that's the challenge. And that's going to be the challenge until there's some sort of a vaccine or whatever happens down the line with COVID.
So Melissa Benz and her sister, they own a brand called they're the Benz sisters, and they have an amazing high-end luxury brand. They produce purses, and they have a great partnerships with Swarovskis or the crystals, Oh, nice. And so they're an amazing group. Where hopefully we'll be working together before the end of this year. We just obviously things came in the way, but I'm gonna post their stuff up. Melissa, do me a favor. You're hearing me. Put your website on this feed here. That way people can check it out. Check out her stuff, man. She's an amazing person, and I think that might be. I think that those things are already happening. I think these underground private parties are already happening. It's just they're more exclusive, and that's just the way it's going to be. I mean, I've been to a couple parties already where it's invite only, and it's not. It's more of a networking.
Did you have to pay to get in?
Well, I didn't have to pay to get in, no, and I don't.
But see, that's my point. So, how many people were at that event?
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. 150, 200 people that were there, but. I didn't have to pay. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many other people didn't have to pay. And then you're eating and drinking, and it's kind of like it adds up. So, and I think that we'll figure it out. And I think that there's going to be opportunities. I think that if we're going to target if we're going to see an opportunity and want to target a certain segment or a certain group, I think we're going to have to go towards the younger generation, kind of like Pascual. I mean, I remember growing up with him, Pascual with EDC, Insomniac. I mean, that guy dominated. He's my age. Actually, I think he's a couple years older than me, and he's dominated. I mean, he took his thing to a $1 billion, enterprise. We got guys like Miles Kovac. Miles Kovac took and he created his niche. I think that we're going to see that there's going to be an opportunity for a niche, and we're going to have to dominate it and see it. But that's if we want to. If you ask me that question.
Oh, would you get into the nightclub business?
Yeah, honestly, right now, no. I'm a partner in the downtown restaurant Chacho's, and we have 2 restaurants, and even that is it's a grind. What I do like about it, though, it becomes a platform where you can bring clients and special people, and you can share time with them. But if you think that that's going to set you free, financially free, I don't see it. And nightlife for me, it's for me at least. Nightlife was a lifestyle for me. It's a nocturnal lifestyle, and there's the Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, late nights, early mornings, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Either for some of us, we would take off to Vegas, and then we'd come back. Monday night or Tuesday, we do like a 24-hour run on top of the other 3 days that we were running hard, and then come back and we do it all over. So it was a lifestyle. It was, when I look back. No regrets. I love what I did. I love the money that I made. I love the people that I met. I mean, for me, I was touching over 10,000 people a month. I was doing about 2,500 people a week through the doors. And, it was just interesting just to see the things that we experienced. So, Krista, she's here. She's watching us. She says hello. And she posted Loft 11 and the Vault. I mean, bro, we dominated in our scene for so many years, and
Loft 11 was the first sort of ultra lounge, that term that they used, ultra lounge. And I think that when you think about there, I don't think a mega nightclub is going to happen again. I don't think that big mega club. I think smaller, intimate spaces. Maybe it won't be a small space. Maybe it's going to be a bigger space with less people. I don't know how that's going to be, because I think people love to be intimate. People want to get up and rub shoulders and get close and tell stories. And we're social beings. That's how we are. Human beings. We're social beings. So I don't know. It's going to be a challenge. And I just think that someone is going to crack this nut, and they're going to figure it out, how to be social. Right now, I'm social with 700,000 people, with my radio station. So
yeah,
and that's what I really get pleasure out of, getting those phone calls where people are like, "Oh my God, that's my favorite song," or "You played a song. I remember when first time I heard that song. I was with my girlfriend at the time. She's my wife now." So I get really great stories. Yeah, man, from the
I get it. I get them too. I've gotten those too. Like, yeah, we met at your club, and then you look at the kids, and you're like, "Ooh, okay."
Yeah. Well, no, but you know what? You're like, "Hey, it happened under my watch. You met somebody, and they became your significant other, or we play a song that strikes a chord with you. Like, oh my God, when I was in high school, I remember slow dancing to that song on the gym dance floor or the gym floor." Or I was at a club and I heard that song. And so that's the great thing about what I'm able to do now. I'm able to touch a lot of people with my brand now.
Yeah. Talk to us about your brand. You know what, Billy? I know we spend a lot of time, and we got hijacked by Adrian. Adrian, if you're out there, you're never invited on the show. We're actually breaking time right now. It's pretty dope, man. It's an hour and 13 minutes that we're going, and I've never gone this long. And I knew we were going to go long because there's just so much we can talk about. Share with us your music radio journey, because, man, you were dominating back in I don't know if it was early or late 80s or early 90s, but you were on KMEL, brother. I mean, I
started at KMEL in 1986 as a power mixer. So that's how I got my start in radio. I actually was a nightclub DJ before that, and I worked for a guy named Cameron Paul. So he He was a legendary DJ in the Bay Area. So Cameron Paul was my mentor. He was the guy who taught me how to DJ. I mean, I would carry his records to every gig, and he paid me a little bit, but I didn't care. I was
bucks.
Listen, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. I felt like I should have been paying him from the experience I was getting. I'm
going to give you a quick one. I carried Richard Vision's and Tony B's records, man, back in the day when I was learning the industry in LA. Crazy. Yeah. I remember Sujit, the number one talent of the world, scam artist, carrying Bad Boy Bill's records. I mean, that's how far back we go, man. So I love it, man.
And that's the thing is, when you're young, you can't be afraid to work. You can't be afraid to work for free. I mean, I remember when I first got in at KMEL, you had to tell me to go home. I would go to KMEL. I would be there from the beginning of the day to the late at night when nobody was left. They had a couch in the jock lounge. I would sleep on that couch sometimes. I just loved radio so much. I wanted to be there all the time. Yes. And I was lucky at the time I was at KMEL because our program director, a guy named Keith Naphtali, he just embraced all of this energy with all the other DJs. There was myself, Alexander Mejia, Dave Moss, Theo Mizuhara, Cameron Paul, obviously. And you had
Swick. It's a Swick. It's a
no.
Sway
Sway came a little bit later, but Sway was there when I was there as well. And
who was the other guy? The guy that drove the Ferrari. There was Franzen, and then the other Trace Dog. There you go.
Listen,
I was gonna call the white boy. They drove the Ferrari.
Well, he's got a brand new Ferrari now. Trace lives in Vegas. Trace, I brought back. He's now hosting our Friday night house party on Q102. Nice. So Trace Dog is back hosting the Friday night house party, 9 to midnight, and he brings that energy, that kind of party imagery that has a lot to do with the culture.
Yeah, yeah.
But Trace, listen, Trace now. Here's the funny thing. Trace is Cypress Hill's road manager now. He's their official road manager. So he's out with Cypress Hill, whenever they're going to be touring again. But he's been down. He and B Real are really tight. And then Franzen's a big DJ now in Vegas. He's been a big.
What clubs is he playing in Vegas?
Dre's. He's like Dre's resident DJ.
I didn't know they were open. Are they doing the underground version of?
There's nobody open right now. But yeah, but I'm just saying that.
No, I know. I'm kidding.
That the graduating class from KMEL at the time are like, you've got a kid named Larry Jackson. He was an intern, and he was basically taking down requests and stuff. He is now the president of Apple Music. My old boss, Keith Naphtali, he's the vice president of RCA Records. Another guy, Hash Gorelli, he's got his own record label. Joey Arbiger is like senior VP of A&R at Arista, I believe. I mean, you've got people that left out of that graduating class and moved on to like really big things in the music industry. So I was lucky. The timing was right. But like I said, you couldn't get me out of the building. I was there for 3 years before I pulled a paycheck because I was making so much money DJing anyways. It didn't matter to me. And then I eventually got hired as, a full-time mix show DJ. And then I was eventually hired to be an on-air DJ. So
you got to meet a lot of great people too, by the way. And I'm going to plug these because I think it's important for the history to be shared too. But you got to meet Biggie Smalls. You got to meet Tupac.
I'll tell you an interesting story about Biggie Smalls.
Yeah.
So Biggie
Smalls, by the way, is Biggie Smalls is the man. I love Biggie Smalls.
So let me tell you an interesting story about Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls was on a record label called Bad Boy. Bad Boy at the time had an artist called Craig Mack. Craig Mack had a song called Flavor in Your Ear. Huge. It was this huge hip hop song. Biggie had a song called Juicy. Nobody in the Bay was feeling Juicy. So I had a friend named Rob Stone that worked at Bad Boy Records, and he was like, "Hey man, just give me some overnight spins," because I think at the time I was doing overnights or something on KMEL, and I put the record on, put it on overnights, play it a little bit, And I just said, hey, man, remember to give me my plaque if the song blows up. So I remember that thing with Rob Stone. And so anytime you play a record, and we also had a request sheet, and I wrote the name in, and I would start checking off requests. And you turn this into the PD, and the PD at that time was a guy named Dave Shakes, I believe. But I just remember kind of fudging that request log, the request sheet a little bit to get more popularity for this song, because a lot of times.
Were you getting payola? Was that part of? Were you? No, never. Right, never.
No, this was out. I love the record. I love the original Entume record, the Juicy Fruit record. I loved it anyways. But Craig Mack was so big, and Bad Boy was relative. It was a new record label. I mean, yeah, it was a spinoff of it was Puffy's new record label. Clive Davis, it was under his umbrella, and back then, record labels didn't have multiple small ones, didn't have multiple artists going at the same time on air. It was a different time.
Oh, you also broke Clouds of Smoke too, right? Was it Clouds of Smoke? What's that one? Yeah, I mean, you Many Clouds. I mean, you've broken a lot of records, because again, not only do your vision in nightlife and creativity, but you also have an ear for sound, and you took it to the point where, man, you had some smash hits too, brother. I mean, you got to give yourself some credit. When you were working with Dave Hobbs, Mr. Mix.
Oh yeah. We had fun. Listen, it was different. I mean, we had an open door policy with the program director, where nowadays mix show DJs, they're sort of given like these parameters that they have to follow. Musically, what they're going to play, they can't veer off too much out of their set list of music. Where back then, if we were really passionate about a record, our job was to prove it. So we would bring this record and prove it to the boss. This record is a smash. This is what's happening in the clubs. This is what's happening on the streets. So, DJs like myself, Alexander Mejia, we were like proud. If I got a record that blew up, that's all that mattered to me. It was like, my peers know that I was the guy that brought that record in and put it on and played it and had faith in it. And I played it again and I played it again, where, a song blows up. So that was the fun part of being able to do that when we were younger in radio. It was being able to break new music. The Many Clouds of Smoke, the funny thing is, the producer worked in our parking structure at KMEL. So he comes up to me and says, hey, Billy, this guy's name is Tim. He goes, Billy, would you mind listening to this record? I go, yeah, no problem. I mean, I remember it was a test pressing. The paper on it was almost like a double piece of paper on it. He had it written down, the name of the song, and it just looked a little bit bootlegged. So I remember I used to work as assistant music director. So I'd be in this office where all the music was at KMEL, and I'm in there playing this record, and the program director, Keith Naftali's on the other side, programming the music that's going to be played on KMEL. And he hears the song too, and he pops his head around the door, and I look at him, he's like, what is that? I go, that's Tim's record from downstairs. He's like, cart it up, put it on the radio.
Ooh.
Just like that.
Wow.
Just like that. Same with Hold On. In Vogue, Hold On. I'm in there playing new music. We hear this come on. We hear the bass line in it. You hear
Hold On. Boom. Yeah.
And he's like, cart it up, put it in. And that's, basically how fast he reacted to new music that he had a gut feeling for. And, also us as DJs, like, oh my God, the song is moving. It's moving. The club's moving, So I was lucky. I was really lucky to come up in that time in the music industry. I
think it's I'm lucky to have you as not only my friend, my mentor, and your family, bro. We're brothers, man. I've already told you it's don't worry, I'll take care of the family if anything ever happens.
Bro. Yeah, that's good of you. That's good. I appreciate that. I thought you were gonna take care of my family. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, but no, I we're family, bro, and you know that I've come to you and we've shared. I've shared to you some of my hard times, and I think that it reciprocates, and just the fact that we're still in the industry, we're still we're still strong. We're doing this, you know, you can consider me to be your next honor personality if you make any changes. Cause you know, from what I hear, you're pretty cutthroat at changing programming here. So
that's the word on the street.
That's what I'm just repeating what's on the street, brother.
I still listen. I answer to a higher God. That's all I answer.
I know, and you know, you got to thank Michael Martin. You know, I know Michael. He's I knew him as Double M&M, and when he used to work in LA, and then when he moved up here and started when he took over Wild 107 when it was on 107, and I remember him recruiting you know, St. John, Frank Lozano. He started doing the whole format change.
The guy's a genius. He's a legend in this industry. I've been lucky enough to have him as not only as my boss, but you know, we've had a relationship all the way back to Sound Factory, and we're friends, and we can be collaborative. Where we can, he has an open door policy. So Michael Martin allows me to bounce things off of him, where I've been lucky. Okay. You know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I've been lucky in my entertainment life. I've had the best nightclub owners that I've worked for and with. I've had the best radio people I've worked for and with, and I continue to still have those relationships. I still have these people that I can pick up the phone and call, ask questions to. And like I said, my current boss, Michael Martin, he just won like PD of the year for all of the brands that he oversees in the United States. So I'm able to bounce these ideas off of him and see if they stick. And he's like, ooh, that works. Or, oh, you know what? Run with that. And because he's got that experience, and you know, I'm just lucky. I'm lucky to have those kind of guys in my life.
So you're saying that I should talk to Michael instead of wasting my time with you here? I should have been interviewing Michael instead of you. I know he lives in San Jose nearby somewhere, so I might run into him at the gas station again, like I have in the past. Anyways, Matt, you know, again, you said it, and we've talked about it pretty much throughout, you know, a couple of times here on the show. Is mentorship, you know, leadership. We're yearning for leadership, and I think that can apply to what's currently happening today in our world. You know, the world is looking for leadership because
very much
it sets the tone. You know, not everyone can be a leader either, and you know, and even for myself, I mean, I can't always be the leader. I got to follow in order to learn that road, and then eventually I can go into the leadership position or acquire some of the experiences like I have in our industry, and then I apply it, and then I keep moving forward. And I think
collaboration is and it's also who you're collaborating with. Collaboration now, I think, is really important. It's you know, where you're bringing in, you're creating that synergy with really smart people. I think that now is probably the best time too. If you've ever thought about collaborating with somebody, or you see somebody on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you go, God, I really am impressed by how that person conducts themselves, conducts their business. I'm telling you, it's not going to hurt you to send them an email or reach out and ask them a question. You know, maybe they'll answer, maybe they don't. But if they do answer, imagine that. Yeah. They've opened the door for you to ask them those questions that are burning, you know, in your head, like, you know, how they got to where they're at.
No, Billy, I'm gonna we're gonna hit an hour and a half here, and we can keep going. I know, but so in a wrap up here, man. You know, the people that are listening, the people that are in the future that are going to listen to this show, you know, being in the position that you're in, program director of a top radio station here in the Bay Area, we're number 4 market, right? In the country,
market in the country.
You know, give some golden nuggets out there for the people that are out there. I mean, I've seen there's a lot of people, and I'm going to go back later on and reply, and I invite you to jump in and reply to some of the comments, because these are people that are watching us, and you know, the success of this show wouldn't be if it wasn't for.
I'll jump back on your Facebook and I'll try to answer it. If there's any questions.
But give us some golden nuggets, some words of advice during these times that we're going through, and we'll wrap it up with that, man. I mean,
okay.
I think
my advice is, if you're passionate about something, I mean, really passionate, then you have to follow that passion, and it might not be what you thought it was, but if you don't, you know what I mean? But if you don't go down that path, fall and get up, or whatever it's going to be, then you're going to have regret. And you don't want to ever have regret in your life where you say, I didn't follow my passion. I think that now is the best time ever to follow your passion, chase your dream, but be smart about it. You're not going to just dive into like hot lava, right? You're not going to just, do something silly. Get some information before you take that leap of faith. But you have to believe in yourself. Just say, listen,
powerful.
Right? I got to believe in myself.
You got to be Mauricio that came in and told you, I believed in myself. And I was telling the DJ, you need to promote my party, man. You got to believe in yourself. I believed in myself.
Did you give up? You didn't give up, right?
No.
You're like, screw that guy. He's a jerk.
Yeah.
I'm going to still do what I do. My party's going to suck, but I still believe in me.
Ouch, bro. I was in the fetal position right now. You just
if everything we did was a success, then it wouldn't be any fun. I mean, you have to have mistakes. You have to learn from your mistakes. And trust me, I've had a million of them. I've had a million mistakes, but I've also had some successes along the way. Your job is to not do those same things, those same mistakes. Learn from your mistakes and try not to make that same mistake again. But right now is a great time to chase your dream, chase your passion, get the information you need to chase that passion. Just don't go blindly into it, and map it out. Give yourself, I've got a 3-month plan, I've got a 6-month plan, I've got a 1-year plan, I've got a 5-year plan. So map it out. Try to accomplish that goal, that dream, and what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose other than not doing it? And then you'll have a lifetime of regret because you didn't do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I know we're going to end up doing a follow-up interview to this.
No, I'm done. I'm never talking to you again.
No, we're doing it because we didn't even get to talk about your competitiveness and your judo and your championship and the fact that was a dream. And now I think one of your sons is kind of following that path.
No, he's a jerk. He quit.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I taught judo. I did judo for years and years. And that discipline, judo gave me discipline, which is really difficult in this business. In the entertainment business, it's hard to be disciplined because, as a man, as we were kids in a candy store.
That's right.
And the beauty was, I didn't drink, so I never got into the trappings of the drinking and not being able to do my job. So working from 9 o'clock to 6 in the morning, you definitely need to be on your toes.
I'm going to do some fact checking on that one. I want to make sure that I'm going to check
not back then. You check it out. I didn't drink.
I'm going to check my sources on that one, making sure that
drink a lot.
Okay? Anyways, Billy, hey man, I love you, my brother. Thank you for being here tonight with us, and thank you for.
I'll try to answer some of your questions too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then again, thank you so much. Say hello to the kids. Give everyone a big hug. Stay safe, man. And we'll stay in touch, my brother. So thank you so much. Tonight we had Billy Vidal. Have a good night, man. Thank you so much.
See you guys.
So there goes another night, another show. Mauricio Mejia Live, episode 8. Amazing. We got crashed. We got bombed by Adrian Goddard, Jaffe Events. Billy Vidal, a good friend of mine, entrepreneur, music director, program director. Sorry about that. Q102 in San Francisco, and good friend. And again, we've had some amazing times. I want to thank everyone. We've gone 1 hour and 33 minutes. This is the longest that my show has gone. Thank you, everyone that has participated, that has commented. I'm going to go back to so many comments and so many great people. I want to thank my official sponsor. I've just signed up this week, Juicalize. You got to visit juicalize.com. It's juice pressing. It's an amazing good health. And, I have a hard time eating vegetables. So now I'm drinking 2 pounds of vegetable, if not once or twice a day. It's cleansing my body. Look how beautiful my skin is looking. You can tell that I'm rehydrating myself. And I just want to thank my sponsor, Elizabeth Diaz. She's a monster. She's a beast. She's going to be the next multimillionaire, along with Melissa Bentz and the sister Kim. You guys are, it's all who you surround yourself with, and you guys are going to be $1 billion company. And I know it, I feel it, I see it, and I can't wait to see and work with you guys moving forward. I want to thank Krista Coots for being here tonight. I saw your comments. I think I actually highlighted one. Krista, you're an amazing human being, and good luck in whatever you're doing. And I look forward to you visiting us at Chacho's. I want to say hello to Carmen Milagro and Veronica in here as well. And let me see, who else am I missing? I had my boy Ruben Guerrero in here, Robert Guerrero's brother. The Ghost, the fighter, Ruben Guerrero and I are working on some partnerships. You know, guys, I truly am a serial entrepreneur at heart. I love business. I'm always continuously thinking of new opportunities, and I don't stop. Those that know me know that I'm a beast when it comes to business. I don't stop. I keep going, and no is never an answer to me. That just gave me direction. So for those of you that are entrepreneurs, business people that are looking for opportunities, reach out. You know, I might be able to help you. I might be able to participate or guide you into that direction. So I always love to share, and that's really what my show is about sharing with others and bringing good people that can share with you as well. So I'm going to wrap it up. I want to thank again Billy Vidal for being here with me tonight. Next week's guest is going to be Albert Campoy, a DJ, former nightclub owner and operator. And there's going to be an interesting story to share with you as well. Albert and I are our first interactions. Albert dominated the San Jose South Bay scene for many years. From what I understand, you know, the Oz was one of his clubs back in the day, and the most famous one that I'm really familiar with was Planet X. So I'm looking forward to have Albert Campoy next week on my show and sharing his story and his background in the industry and bringing us together, along with June 17th. I'm super excited about this one as well. Stedman Graham is going to be joining us. Hopefully, with everything that's going on in the world, we don't have to make any changes. But so far, as I know right now, we're committed. Stedman Graham, Oprah's other half, is going to be on my show, and I'm very excited about that one, to be sharing the stage with him. And then on the end of the month, we're bringing serial entrepreneur, founder of the Intentional Leadership and is an executive coach, Lena Mendoza. So that's the what we got for June. And I'm starting to book all of July already. So people, if you want to be on my show, send me a direct message. Reach out to me if you have my number. I am open to have a smart conversation, a business conversation, so that we can share with those that follow us. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. Mauricio Mejia Live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone. I love you. Be safe. And all lives matter. Black lives matter as well. So I want to make sure that everyone is safe out there, and people that are protecting us. I say a prayer for you guys, all the police, fire department, all the leaders that are trying to keep this world in check. My prayers and my hearts are to you, and God bless you guys. Be safe. Thank you.